channel that knows nothing. I'm Jim, and let's get to it. So today we are diving on into the out of my comfort zone book tag, so let's go. Number one in this tag is a book that's an exception when it comes to genre or things you typically don't like to see. And I've got to say, it doesn't matter what book it is, so long as it's got the trope of enemies to lovers in it. Because I really do like that trope quite a bit. My favorite of all time is probably The Viscount Who Loved Me. That's where I've seen it done the best, because I feel like it is truly like enemies to like friends, kind of friends, and then to a little bit more. I think it's the only time I've seen it done well. And there's a lot of times where I've seen it done poorly, or people argue that there is elements of enemies to lovers, but it's not quite as well done. I need the banter. Banter is the best bit. Number two in this tag is a book that you enjoyed despite you holding a stigma against it in the beginning. So I generally don't like non-fiction books. I don't like them. It doesn't matter who wrote them. I just tend not to reach for them because like normally they're like sad and like life lessons and that sort of thing, and I don't read books for those reasons. Well, I don't read books to be immersed in someone else's reality. I like to read about stuff that's fiction and probably will never happen ever because, you know, I lean towards fantasy, but I read Different Not Less this year, and I don't know, my feelings towards non-fiction is now different, which is good. Opens up more worlds to explore too. Number three in this tag is a book you didn't realize was out of your comfort zone until you started reading it, and I've got to go with It Ends With Us because I didn't know a lot about the book before picking it up. Me and my friend both decided to read it just because it was so popular. We didn't know anything more about it than it was a cringy romance novel, and then the abuse and the excuses towards the abuse. I found it really hard to swallow and get through that. I spoke about it with like several other people. I'm like, this is such a messed up book. Why do people love it? And a lot of people were just like, oh, you're reading it wrong. Like, you don't get it. And I'm like, I don't know. Like, he still abused her. Like, I'm not gonna like, no. I'm not. There's a line in the sand. No. It was too much. And yeah, no, didn't like it. No. Number four in this tag is a friend who motivates you to get through books you might not necessarily like or be interested in. And I don't think there is a particular friend in this sense. There's like, normally I've got like a whole group that sort of gives suggestions. There's like an author that I'm definitely never going to touch, or the few authors that I'm just never going to touch because I don't think they're my cup of tea and they're my friend's cup of tea, and I'm just no, it's too high fantasy or too scary to even like consider looking at. But I feel like it's like it like is sort of like, I don't need motivation. Like, if I like a book, I'll pick it up and read it. Normally my rule is, I'm not sure if I've said this before, probably I have, I give it until 100 pages in or up to chapter 10, whether that happens before or after. I don't know, depending on the book. And if it hasn't like sort of like hooked me or got me slightly interested, then I normally give up on it. Them's the rules that I play by. Number five in this tag is a book that is out of your comfort zone, but you would still like to read it. I think like that non-fiction like genre is definitely out of my comfort zone because it's not something I tend to lean towards. It's not my interest when it comes to books, but I would like to get into it more. I know there's like a sort of genre, it's not really non-fiction, but it's like historical fiction about actual events that happened, but like from a fictional perspective. I would like to get more into those sorts of books because I feel like there is so much that has happened throughout history that I just am so unaware that has happened, and I would like to be more aware. I'd like to be more switched on when it comes to those sorts of things. Number 6 in this tag, and is also the last question in this tag, is a book that is so far outside your comfort zone that you would never even consider picking it up, and that it's horror. It's like, doesn't matter what it is, like what book it is, like no, I'm just never touching that with a 10-foot pole, ever. No, I don't enjoy being scared for the sake of being scared. There's like sort of a thin line between like thriller and horror. I feel like thriller falls underneath like sort of crime, and I am very interested in getting into the crime genre a little bit more, because I do like those sort of spicy stories. But horror, no, I don't enjoy being scared. I don't like it. Although I have been watching some things that are a little bit more of the spicy genre. I watch Yellow Jackets, and I feel like that falls into horror really hardcore. So like, I don't know. It's a very big maybe at the moment. I don't think I will ever get into horror. Anyway guys, that's all I've got for you today. Please like, subscribe, because that is always nice, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.